lied about a $1 stock, made millions, and only served 22 months behind bars. Then Hollywood turned his crimes into a blockbuster. This is the story of Jordan Belfort, the man who scammed America and got rich doing it a second time. And the craziest part, people still cheer for him. Queens, New York, early 1960s. A modest neighborhood, modest paychecks, and a kid who refused to think small. By his mid-teens, Jordan wasn't asking for allowance. He was running a two-man ice cream cart operation on the beach, undercutting every competitor on the block and pocketing thousands of dollars in a single summer. Dental school was next. On day one, a professor told the incoming class that dentistry wasn't the road to riches. Jordan stood up, walked straight out of the lecture hall, and never came back. He wasn't there to fix cavities. He was there to get rich, and dentistry clearly wasn't the shortcut. So he pivoted to meat. Door to door, cooler in the trunk, pitching frozen steaks and seafood to strangers who never asked for any of it. No warehouse, no logistics, just raw nerve. Somehow it worked. 6 figures a month at its peak, until spoiled inventory and unpaid bills buried the whole operation. But the meat business taught him something worth more than any product. The product was never the point. He was. Jordan landed a junior broker job on Wall Street just in time to watch the market implode. Black Monday, 1987. Overnight, the firm that trained him was gutted, and he was out of a job. Most people would have called that the end. Jordan called it a loophole. He discovered penny stocks, cheap, unregulated shares nobody serious would touch, paying commissions 10 times higher. No licenses to flash, no research required. Just a phone, a script, and zero shame. He'd call a stranger in the Midwest, spin a story about a ground floor company about to explode, and walk away with thousands of dollars in a single conversation. He wasn't selling stock. He was selling a fantasy of getting rich before everyone else caught on, and people bought it every single time. By the late 80s, Jordan had a partner in crime, a wild, fast-talking recruit from Long Island with none of Jordan's Polish, but all of his hunger. Together, they didn't build a brokerage. They built a cult with a trading license. The name on the door sounded like old money and mahogany desks. The reality was a strip mall boiler room stacked with kids who'd never touched a finance textbook, bartenders, dropouts, and gym rats. Jordan handpicked for one quality: desperation. He trained them with a manipulation formula so precise it could turn a stuttering rookie into a closing machine in weeks. Steamroll every objection, never let the prospect breathe, and never hang up without a check. The targets weren't hedge funds or Wall Street pros. They were retirees, small savers, people who trusted a friendly voice on the phone. Cheap, worthless stocks got dressed up as the next big thing, hyped by hundreds of coordinated calls, driven sky high, then dumped by the firm at the peak, leaving everyday investors holding shares worth a fraction of what they paid. Inside the office, the culture matched the crime. Cash bonuses thrown around like confetti, extravagant parties, and a level of excess that made the firm feel less like a business and more like a bomb with a lit fuse. By the mid-90s, the firm was a national name, taking companies public and moving hundreds of millions of dollars. But the foundation was rotten. Regulators started noticing the pattern: stocks that spiked out of nowhere and crashed just as fast. To hide the money, it went offshore, shell accounts, relatives' names, and at one point, cash physically smuggled overseas. What Jordan called protecting assets, federal investigators called laundering. His personal life mirrored the collapse. His marriage was falling apart. A car crash with his own child in the vehicle. A sinking yacht in the Mediterranean during a storm he insisted on sailing through. Meanwhile, a federal agent had quietly built a case brick by brick. Wire records, real estate purchases that didn't match reported income, and cooperating witnesses inside the firm itself. When agents finally raided the offices, they didn't need much more. The paper trail Jordan left behind did most of the work for them. Facing decades in prison, Jordan made the same calculation he always made. What's the best deal on the table? He cooperated, wore a wire, and handed over the same people who'd once treated him like a god. Dozens of his former employees were charged. Many served more time than he did. His own sentence: 22 months in a low-security facility with tennis courts and no fences. While inside, he started writing, encouraged, oddly enough, by another inmate serving time for an unrelated offense, and turned his story into a memoir with almost no remorse in it, just chaos, excess, and jokes. The book became a bestseller. The bestseller became a script. The script became one of the most quoted movies of the decade, turning a convicted fraudster into a pop culture icon almost overnight. Here's what doesn't make it into the highlight reel: a retired teacher who lost her pension, a veteran who put his life savings into a stock that was never real, families who remortgaged their homes chasing the next sure thing. Courts ordered well over $100 million in restitution. To this day, only a small fraction has ever reached the victims. The rest disappeared into the same offshore maze that got him arrested in the first place. And Jordan? He's a motivational speaker now. Sales seminars, podcasts, a brand built entirely on the same charisma that once emptied strangers' bank accounts, just with better lighting and a bigger stage. He didn't just avoid real consequences. He turned the whole disaster into a second career. 22 months became a book deal. A book deal became a movie. And somewhere along the way, the world stopped asking who paid for all of it and started asking how he did it. Maybe that's the real story here. Not that he got away with it, but that so many of us secretly wanted to know how.